So I want to talk about stressing. Stress testing. Is that a word? I think I just made up a word. Stressing. So I want to talk about testing all the fucking time. I want to talk about testing all the motherfucking time, but stress. I think it's a new word. Test with stress and break your app in new and fun ways. So can I get a show of hands of how many people have used AB? And how many people have used JMeter? 4. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to show you guys JMeter. I think it's a really simple tool. It's really quick to use. I'm the sales guy from Engine Yard, so if I can use it, anybody can use it. But before you do that, I think what people don't do a lot of times is they don't do the steps that you need to do before you actually do your stress test. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to kind of make a guess on how fast you think your app needs to be, and you'd be amazed at how many people don't even do this. The next thing you need to do is you need to define a transaction or two, which will kind of scope your testing. Then you need to think about how your application is going to scale under a certain amount of load, and how it's going to how much lag is going to be acceptable. So if you say I want 20 concurrent users, it should be 3,000 milliseconds for this particular transaction, and you need to define all these things. And then you got to test it. So this is basically the steps that you need to do to create a test with JMeter. First thing you got to do is obviously download JMeter, but you have to comment out the protect from forgery thing because it messes up the JMeter test a little bit. You got to create the HTTP proxy object. You got to add a thread group. You got to add a recording controller. You start the test. You actually use a browser to create the test. You stop the test, and then you can go in and create assertions around the test. So I'm going to attempt to do that, and we'll see how well it goes. So somewhere here I have JMeter running. So this is JMeter. It's all GUIfied. Basically, you start out with a test plan and a workbench. You need to create the proxy server under the workbench. It's kind of it's a little confusing at first, but you need to add it as a non-test object, and then you define your ports and all that fun stuff. Then you create a thread group and a recording controller, and then you actually start the proxy recorder, which I can't see right now. So you hit start. You go in your browser with your awesome app, and this is my awesome app, which obviously I've been testing a lot. And then I can go in and I can create a new record, hit create, and then I go and I stop the test. And what it's actually done is it's gone through and recorded all the steps that I did in the browser. You can wrap assertions around all these, so you can just about any kind of assertion that you want. You can do assertion based on the HTTP errors. You can do assertions based on the amount of time it takes to complete. You can throw different errors based on that. You can go in and parameterize all the form input, which you can do here with these different fields. And it's basically drag and drop, very easy to use. So I'm actually going to cut these out because we don't need them. And then when you want to run the test, you basically go into the thread group, you specify the loop count, you specify the number of threads, which is the concurrency, and you just basically go up here and click run, and you're going to see a little green, I do want to save my plan, there's a little green thing that pops up in the corner here, in this corner that says your test is running. Actually, I forgot a step. You need to throw in a listener, which is graph. There's a whole bunch of listeners. Graph results is good, and there's another one which is pretty good too. Let me run the test again. And so you can see you get a nice plotted graph of your results. And this is just how easy it is to do. So you can, with a browser, click away, create your test, create your assertions, inject load, and then you can do amazing other stuff. You can actually create a load farm. You can actually have load injectors on multiple different hosts and control it via one, the central control point, and actually have it throw, super massive amounts of load. You can do if loops. You can do anything you can think of. You can do with this tool, and it's very easy to get started with, but it goes very, 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 very deep. And that's my talk. Questions?
Did I miss this? Did you give a link?
What's that?
Did you give a link to the software?
It's JMeter. It's on the Jakarta, or I think it's on the. It's a Java tool. There's nothing else out there for it. I mean, it's awesome. Maybe somebody can write a Ruby one. Any other questions?
I have a comment.
Comment?
Yeah, when you're trying to do something that depends on the result of the previous page, it can get a little tricky. Like if you create a new product and it's got a product number and then you want to do something with that product number, you got to do...
If it generates the product number as part of the...
Yeah, you got to fish that out with a regular expression.
Right.
And then insert it in the parameters on the next call.
Right. But you can really dig deep into it. And if you don't mind writing a little bit of Java, you can pretty much do anything that you could possibly think of, you can do with this tool as far as stress testing. So, is that it? All right, thanks.